So what is Medicare? We'll learn that and more today, coming up on Practical Insurance Tips. Hello and welcome to Practical Insurance Tips. My name is Francyne Walker, and joining me today is Alvin Lynn III from Option Insurance Group. He's here to talk about Medicare and its options. Hi, Alvin.
How you doing today?
Awesome. Thank you for asking. So before we talk about options, let's talk about what is Medicare.
Well, good question. I'm glad you asked. Actually, Medicare is health insurance for people who are 65 and older and people who are under 65 with certain disabilities, and at any age, a person that has end-stage renal disease or ESRD, that's actually kidney failure, permanent kidney failure requiring dialysis. Now, there are two options to Medicare: Original Medicare and Medicare Advantage plan.
Okay.
So you may have heard this before, the ABCs of Medicare. I know during a certain time of the year, you can't help but to hear it because they talk about it on television all day sometimes with certain insurance carriers. So I'm going to go back and address Original Medicare.
Okay.
Original Medicare has Parts A and Parts B. Part A is actually hospital, and Part B is the medical, doctor visits, specialist tests, etc., and etc. So that's Part B. Now you have A and you have B, but you also add Part C. Well, Part C is Medicare Advantage. That's actually a Medicare Advantage plan is provided by private insurance companies. However, they are approved by Medicare, the Centers of Medicare and Medicaid, CMS. Now, what Medicare Advantage plans actually do is they provide additional benefits for the person that is eligible for Medicare: dental, vision, hearing, even some gym memberships are a part of that.
Wow. So is there a cost share associated with that?
Well, yes.
I knew it was.
I don't know of any insurance here lately. Well, that's partially true.
Yeah.
That's partially true because there are some plans, and I may address those, but to answer your question, the answer is yes. We know what deductibles are. A deductible is you pay an annual deductible no matter what that cost is, and then the insurance company, it comes in and does its part.
Okay.
Copay, you go to the doctor, your copay may be X amount of dollars, you pay your part by the way of copay. Coinsurance is a percentage. So you may have, for prescriptions, for an example, a coinsurance amount that you would pay, maybe 20%, 30%, but again, that's your obligation to the insurance company. So that's how that works. Also, Medicare Advantage plans have something that Original Medicare doesn't, and that is that it has what's called an out-of-pocket maximum. That's to protect your finances. So an out-of-pocket maximum, no matter what the dollar amount is designed, is once a year. It's once a year, and that's what you would pay. All right? Or you may be subject to pay.
Okay.
All right? I misspoke. That's not exactly correct.
So how much coverage should one purchase?
Well, that's going to depend. So it's going to depend on your needs.
Okay.
So, and it's a great question. It's really a great question, but there's not a dollar amount because, and here's why. Because there's several different plans. One I haven't mentioned yet, and I'm going to explain what Part D is in a second. But the way the plans are designed and what I encourage people to do is to know where they are with their health.
Okay.
All right. And at that juncture, you can very well choose a plan that best fits your need.
Okay.
Okay, that makes sense, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Okay.
But it just seems like there's so many options. And what about Medicare supplement insurance plans?
Well, it's funny you should ask. I'm more than excited to talk about Medicare supplement plans, and it's also called Medigap Plans. What you typically hear in the marketplace is Medigap Plans, but they mean the same thing. The good thing about a Medigap plan is that a Medigap plan actually it's not a part of Medicare Advantage. It actually fills in the gap. So let me make it make sense to you.
Okay.
Right? You got original Medicare here, and you have deductibles and copays and et cetera and et cetera. Well, what a Medigap plan does is it actually comes in and it fills the gap.
Okay.
Right? So you pay a monthly premium, all right? And depending on the type of plan you have chosen, that's the benefit levels. Now, there's no way I'll sit here with you and tell you all the benefit levels, so don't you dare do that to me.
I won't
However,
ask you. I promise.
However, what I will explain is that they are standardized. So a plan with company X is the same as with company B or Z. It doesn't matter. And there are some plans that are really popular. Most people know about them, so I'll use them here.
Okay.
It's called F, like Foxtrot. That's a very popular plan, and G, like golf. So
Oh my goodness.
those plans are standardized no matter where you go, right? Those plans are the same, right? Now, there are some places that they're a little bit different, and the states are, I want to try to remember this, right? Wisconsin, Milwaukee, what's the other one? Oh my gosh, I can't remember the other plan or the other state right now. I'm sure it'll come back to me as we. I got it. Massachusetts, dadgummit. See, that's all I had to do is have a second or two, and it came right back.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you allowing me the time. But I want to also back up some things that came to me. I know I get excited about explaining things, but I'm talking.
Because you're so full of knowledge.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you can't help it.
I appreciate it, but I also have to know, I have to make sure I'm covering the right things
Absolutely,
too.
and we appreciate that.
Yeah.
We do.
So you have a time, obviously, you're going to have a time in which you can enroll, but I want to be clear, right? The benefits are lined up, right, when you first are ready to enroll, okay? And now what that means to you and I, once you turn 65 years old, right, it's not when you turn 65, people think that. It's actually a 7-month window.
Wow.
Right? So 3 months before you turn 65, the month, your birthday month, and 3 months after.
Oh my goodness.
That's when you're first eligible for Medicare. See, and what I've come across.
So 3 months before your birthday, then that month,
then
your
the
birthday,
month,
and 3 months after.
That's right. That's right. That's pretty awesome.
So don't wait until your birthday.
Yeah.
It's your birthday?
I would encourage you not to wait.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3 months before and 3 months after, and the middle is your birthday. So that's 7 months,
That's
right?
a total of 7 months.
Okay.
That's a total of 7 months. And what you hear sometimes is 6 months. That's true as well, because they're not saying your birthday month.
Okay.
But in fact, it does include your birthday month. Now, that's when you're first eligible. Okay. Now, you can also it's called initial enrollment period. Your 25th disability payment, if you're fully disabled. If you're fully disabled, a person, remember I mentioned a person, certain disabilities, et cetera, and et cetera. Well, on that 25th payment that you receive as a fully disabled person, you also are eligible and it falls still within that same time window. So that's how that works. So you're automatically also enrolled if you're on Social Security. You're automatically enrolled, and you have to have obviously Part A and Part B. And if you are a retired railroad worker, right, and receiving retired benefits from the railroad board. So those are, that's what makes you eligible. That's when you first become eligible. So I hope I didn't say too much and get you confused.
No, but it makes me think, when you've got that 7-month window, isn't there something you should be doing? Are you automatically enrolled? Do you fill out paperwork? What do you do?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you are clearly automatically enrolled if you're on Social Security.
Okay.
You will be automatically enrolled if you are retired from the railroad.
Okay.
Okay. Now, other than that, you have to enroll yourself.
Okay. So how does one do that? And so they can do that during that 7-month period?
Yeah.
Or they have to wait?
Well, I'm glad. See, no.
Oh, no.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
All right.
Because it's like, oh my God,
yeah,
my 7 months are up.
Right. What's going to
happen?
happen?
And I am not covered.
Yeah. No. And I say that and I stop you because that's an assumption that some people make.
Yes.
And I would tell you, no, it's not like that. It's not like what you've been accustomed to, what they have been accustomed to working in the marketplace.
Okay.
Right?
So it's not as
a little bit different. Well,
okay.
Well, there are some things, and I'm going to tell you what they are.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And I know that I gotta cover Part D. I didn't do that, so don't let me forget.
I won't.
But I want to tell you that if you do not enroll when you are first eligible, you are subject to a late enrollment fee or penalty, as it's called. Now, that's with Part A and Part B and Part D. Now that I mentioned Part D, let me go back a little bit.
Okay, yeah, because we got to get those alphabets in.
Yeah.
All those alphabets.
Let me go back.
I know what you see when you say, now I know what you mean when you say ABCs. It's like, whoa, D, E, F, G.
Yeah, well, we're not going to go that far,
No.
but we're going to go to D.
Okay,
all right.
Let's stop at D.
So now D, what that means that's your prescription drug plan. So
we need that.
PDP, prescription drug plan. Now, there's 2 ways in which you can have a prescription drug plan. One, it can actually be included in your Medicare Advantage plan, which makes that Medicare Advantage plan a Medicare Advantage plan with prescription drug coverage.
Okay.
So I want to be clear, because you can have a Medicare Advantage plan without, in some cases, a Medicare Advantage plan with the prescription drug coverage.
Okay.
And then you have what we call it in short, MAPD, Medicare Advantage with prescription drugs. Okay? Now, that's one way. The other way is a standalone. Now, the standalone, you can have it with original Medicare, or you can have it and attach it to a Medicare or Medigap plan. So now, when you look at A is hospital. B, right, that's your doctor. Okay. C, that is a Medicare Advantage plan, which takes and combines A and B together, right, and adds additional benefits.
Okay.
Makes sense?
So it's C is a hybrid of A and B and some extra?
No, not hybrid.
Okay.
No, it becomes your Medicare plan.
Okay.
You see?
That's clear.
And you know what? I don't want to make you don't feel bad anyway, because a lot of people become confused.
Yes.
Especially,
which is where you come in.
That's exactly right. So remember, right? You have A and B. A and B is original Medicare. All right. You bring in C, it takes over for A and B and adds additional benefits. Remember, I mentioned vision, dental,
Right,
hearing,
yes.
right? Even workout facilities, we use silver sneakers because everybody knows about it.
Right.
But those are the things that are actually included in there, and it must do everything that A and B does, but it adds. So that's what you remember. Now, Medicare or Medigap plans only do filling the gap.
Right.
Makes sense.
Right.
Gap filler,
Yes.
gap filler. That's what it does. But you can add a prescription drug plan to it. So now you're covered. All right. Now
you ought to be.
No?
You just ought to be.
You don't feel bad.
Wow.
Because when you're talking to seniors, when I sit down and
Yes.
talk with them, it's times that I go over it a few times to
yes.
make it really, really clear.
That's good.
It's super important. But I wanted, is that clear? Does that
That's
make
very
sense to
clear,
you?
yes.
Okay, good. Now, I want to tell you, now we go back, I mentioned the initial enroll period. I want to tell you, because you asked that question, what happens? Well, what happens if you miss the initial enrollment period, right? You may be able to still have an enrollment. It's called special election period, or SEP.
Okay.
A special election period may allow you to enroll away from the initial enrollment period.
Okay.
Does it make sense? So in other words, you may still be working.
Okay.
All right? So you turn 65, I'm not going to stop working. All right, well, that's fine.
Right.
Uncle Sam is not going to penalize you for that. All right?
Okay.
But once you decide to retire, when that day comes, then you will be given what's called a special election period. Okay? You lose coverage, you may get a special election period. Another trigger that may happen and result in a special election period is that you may have Medicare, all right, and you live in another state and you decide to move to another state where coverage is not the same. So you have one Medicare Advantage plan and it does this in that state, you move to another state and it's not there, then you will have a special election period for that.
So your Medicare coverage varies from state to state?
No.
Okay.
It's the plan.
The plan.
The plan.
Okay.
Some plans vary. Now Medicare, and I'm so glad you asked that, Medicare, original Medicare is the same in every state. A Medicare Advantage plan varies from state to state. The plans vary.
All right.
All right. So I'm so glad you mentioned that. Now, so just know that may create a special election period for you. Now we also have what's called Medicaid. Now you heard of Medicaid.
I have.
All right. Everybody here, you know what that is. Well, I want to answer this totally without confusing you and me.
Yes.
Right. I'm just kidding about the me part. I have to get certified.
I know you know.
I have to get certified every year in order to present these plans. But if you qualify for Medicaid, that will trigger a special election period. If you are removed from Medicaid, that will trigger a special election period as well.
Okay.
Okay?
And that varies from person to person based on their situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. In short, well said.
Okay.
Right? That's exactly right. Okay. So that's what I want you to know about the special election periods, and wanted to mention Medicaid as well. And boy, that was a lot. My Lord.
It's a lot, but it's a lot of information. And I think knowing that there are people like you, it helps make that all clear, and so especially for seniors, to understand. I'm not there yet, but it certainly is enlightening to me, so that I think about that even now, because you always say plan, right?
That's right.
And research.
That's right.
And come to you because it's boring. But always informative. Anything you want to add?
I do. I'll leave you with this, just a couple of things. One of the things that's most important when a senior first takes Medicare, and I do mention planning, what I encourage my seniors to do, especially as they are older, in their 70s and even in their 80s, if they have children, adult children, that can sit down with them and talk with them on an annual basis to review what's called an annual notice of change. Oh, by the way, that comes every single year.
Okay.
The plan, and it's a nice little book. It comes once a year, and it allows you an opportunity to review your current plan and make changes once the open enrollment season happens, and make those changes. Now, I don't think that I mentioned the open enrollment, the general open enrollment season. That's the time to review. Those dates every year like clockwork are from October the 15th to December the 7th.
And you're probably busy.
I'm super busy, and that's the time in which a person can review his current plan or her current plan, make changes to that plan, or even enroll for the first time.
Well, that's consoling because you're not locked into that plan forever.
No, not necessarily.
It's based on your situation.
That's right. That's right. So that's the tip that I want to leave you with, and I really want to emphasize having if you have children or someone that's close,
yes,
at least review your plan once a year. Review your plan once a year so that you can make the best choice based on your health at that particular time.
Thank you, Alvin, once again for joining us. That was some great information.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Well, that concludes this episode of Practical Insurance Tips. My name is Francyne Walker, and if you have any questions for Alvin, you can contact him at 248-519-2325 or go to his website, optioninsurancegroup.com, or find him on social media under Option Insurance Group. Be sure and share this information with someone you love. And remember, tune in next time for Practical Insurance Tips.